Hey everybody, welcome to AJS News. This is the first of two videos we got for you today.
But first, a word from our sponsor, Extra Wallets, guys. And right now, guess what sale it is?
Black Friday.
This is the biggest sale that they're going to have. It's up to 50% off. So I know a lot of you already have the Extra Wallets because of our partnership with them, but now it's time to give them out as gifts to your friends and family, or grab yourself one if you haven't done it yet because you were waiting for the best possible price. Now's the time to do it. Click the links down below. Every sale supports the show as well. So okay, as you can see, little Joe is filling in for other Joe, who is out on vacation, I think in Colombia, coming back on Friday. So we are waiting for him. And yeah, so Alex, tell us what the hell has been going on in gaming news.
All right. Exciting news. Stellar Blade is coming to PC in 2025. And the dev actually said they expect more sales on Steam than on PS5. And so there was some...
More sales on Steam?
Yeah,
okay.
there was some... a lot of developers have been talking about the PS5 exclusive thing kind of hurting them. Like the PS5, not... sold pretty well, but PS4 is still the big major market share beast, and so they're excited for it to be coming next year. I like the game. I thought it was fun, and then people like the jiggling and the outfits.
If it's going to be on PC, there's going to be plenty of mods. Mods. Stellar Blade mods is the most exciting news. That's why we put this news story first. I have one I'm going to do right after yours because everybody watched it over the weekend. But Stellar Blade mods come first.
Yeah. They're also doing a Nier DLC. Now, it's not going to be free. That's going to be a paid DLC. Some people thought they were getting it for free. But you can bet that and I have seen the pictures. The pictures up there. The outfit looks real good. It's not like what Ubisoft did, where it was the saddest and most horrible skin possible. This one looks good.
Yeah,
so.
This company knows how to make the skins. They know their audience, and they are satisfying their audience.
Exactly. And now the game isn't just a booby game. There's some great combat in there. So
yeah, Alex, you played it.
I did. Yeah, check out the rapid fire review.
Yes.
Blizzard.
Let me jump in.
Go for it.
Did you see the fight, Alex?
Of course I saw the fight.
You did?
Yeah, I watched
I didn't. I was sitting there with the fucking 25% circle over and over, and had to back out and back in. Apparently, I heard if you plugged in your Ethernet instead of trying to watch it wireless, it would go a little better. But pretty much everybody I knew, what a colossal fucking disaster on so many levels. Not only was the event, unstable, and Netflix clearly could not handle the traffic.
They've got football games coming up. Are you excited? You going to be able to watch NFL games like that, too?
Are you serious?
Yeah, they signed a deal with the NFL.
Fucking stupid, because they couldn't what I read here is they had 3 times the amount of traffic they normally have, and it led to all those problems. So you're trying to tell me you didn't prepare, you didn't have like a backup plan or something in place.
They're an indie company, real
you needed to increase your tubage for traffic, but no, they didn't. I was in the middle of watching the female fight, which, by the way, was one of the best boxing matches I've seen in a long fucking time. Yeah. That's right. My fellow Borinquen, the Puerto Rican, should have won. You saw how many punches she landed, and she had this huge gash. You see that? I was like, holy shit, I've never seen a little flap of skin.
It's on purpose.
Right, because
she kept purposely
headbutting.
Yeah,
that's just her style of boxing, and just coming forward, like leaning on it the whole time. So I'm really proud. She basically, was robbed, in my opinion. I don't see. And apparently that's the second time these two have fought. And that's the second time she's lost. And Taylor won. So I would definitely, but I didn't get to see the end of it because I had buffering problems the whole fucking time.
So I had it on the TV, and I was constantly going back and forth. I had it up on my phone, and the pairing between being able to have it on my TV and my phone, I was able to watch about 95% of all of the fights. I got to see. Did you see the booty cheeks? Because I thought that's how you were.
Didn't see the booty cheeks. I wasn't watching at that point.
That was the best part of the whole thing.
Mike Tyson booty cheeks. Yeah, Serrano landed 110 more punches and threw like 200 more punches. So I don't understand.
She got her eye ripped
it's
open.
Probably because she got her eye ripped open. And they're like, wow, that looks bad. She got fucked up. But it's easy when you're headbutting people.
You did it with your head.
You know, and I'm sure the way they do the corn rolls, maybe there's, I don't know, metal in there? No,
they showed it was like the tip of the forehead against, because it's real thin where your eyelid meets your skull.
Yeah.
And
pretty gross. But, okay, so that was a great fight, and I think everybody was highly entertained despite the bad decision. And then we had Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson, which was fucking sad. It made me feel gross to watch.
He's an old man.
And even the announcers, they were not faking it. They were not trying to put up a face. They were like, oh, he does not look good. That announcer is like, I don't like the way he's moving. I
hate his legs.
I hate his legs.
I hate his legs.
And I looked at his legs. I was like, yeah, them legs look little chicken legs, and they're barely moving. He couldn't move. Clearly was nursing some kind of knee injury. There was he was in a wheelchair at one point. We saw pictures of him in a wheelchair. Now, yeah, he could put on a good show for 30 seconds. And frankly, round one is all right. It looked like, okay, Tyson's not on the attack. He's just waiting for a moment there, and he still has a little bit left in him. But after round two onwards, it was fucking embarrassing. Jake Paul and the rest of them and the promoters of this fight should all be ashamed of themselves. So me and my girlfriend, we immediately went back and watched all 50, like some 47 knockouts from Tyson on YouTube. There's compilations. You can see, man, back in 1988, 1989, in the 90s, this man, if he was put up against Jake Paul would be in the hospital.
You're saying that someone who peaked around 1993 wasn't going to have a good time competing in the Dallas Cowboy Stadium?
No, Dallas Cowboy Stadium.
Jake Paul has more wins in the Cowboy Stadium
than the entire Dallas Cowboys. Yeah, just rub it in, Alex. It's real bad. Jake Paul is more winning.
On Thanksgiving, I have to watch Cooper Rush against Tommy DeVito in the Sadness Bowl.
That's hilarious.
It's sad. Like
it's
this
hilarious.
fight, it was a terrible fight.
The Cowboys are awful. Yeah, it was a terrible fight, and it will go down as really sad. Mike Tyson doesn't care about his legacy. I knew that Mike Tyson was just in it for the money.
$20 million.
And I'm good. I'm glad that this man gets paid. Oh, what about his legacy? Mike Tyson's like, that's dust. I don't care, and I knew that this was going to be a staged fight because there's no way you could tell towards the end that Jake was like, not going hard on him.
For sure.
Because he could have knocked him to the ground and Jake would have looked so bad. The blowback from that would have been awful. So as soon as Jake started seeing how he was moving in the ring, you could tell that he
got his points up high enough, and he's like, look, I'm not going to beat up this old man. It was a lose-lose for Jake, right? Because it's like, if you win, you beat up an old man. If you lose, you lost to an old man. But honestly,
you made $40 million. So I think it's a lose-win because if he would have gotten knocked out and gave everybody what they were paying for, everybody was just paying to see this annoying, obnoxious YouTuber who made all of his money being annoying and obnoxious get his ass knocked out. And when people hear the name Mike Tyson, they hear, you're going to get your ass knocked out. Meanwhile, 60 years later, you're probably not going to get your ass knocked out, especially if, fucking Jake is on steroids. God, man, I remember meeting the guy in 2018 at the YouTube convention. He was kind of off by himself. Nobody was like kind of near him. It was like, and he wasn't talking to anybody. I was like, man, I should go talk to him. I know there was controversy around his brother at the time, but he was, to see that kid in 2018 and see him now, I'm like, my God, the transformation. He's like a mound of muscle. And he lives in Puerto Rico now, so that's wonderful. My island. More island.
It's Moyne.
It's Moyne. Nice. So he's got beachfront property. So he's living the life, basically. And for him to walk away with a $40 million purse, and Mike Tyson walks away with $20 million, good for Mike Tyson, but damn, man, I just feel so bad. And then people, I don't know, I guess the fans of the Pauls were like, look, they got these on their resume, and they show a picture of Logan fighting Mayweather, and they got Jake fighting Tyson. It's like, God, this is Everybody sees through this, don't they?
Oh,
You're fighting old men. And the one time Jake fought somebody his age, Tommy Fury, he lost. He lost. Fight people your own fucking age. And people are constantly challenging him now because he's, talking shit online. And they're like, I'll fight you. And they're like real fighters. And he's like, you're too irrelevant. Jake is going to be able to say that to every single fighter now because obviously everybody's more irrelevant than Mike Tyson's name. So it's just sad. A horrible experience. I know... let's see. My girlfriend's grandparents, they're canceling Netflix because, there's it was just buffering. They're pissed about it. And I'm sure the Netflix will recover and, try to do some things there. But despite it being an absolute disaster and a huge backlash, it actually worked out for them. It's a massive success. The amount of viewers, apparently. The stream peaked at 65 million concurrent viewers worldwide, making it one of the most watched sports events in recent history. Essentially, it was on par with the Super Bowl and the Olympics. This is fucking insane.
That's what the name Mike Tyson used to mean to all of these older people, and
And the gate number for people that were there, $18 million. Just there. When you can get this thing for free, just watch it online. The people went.
Well, you couldn't watch it online, so.
Right. You couldn't. Apparently, I guess with numbers like that, that people who make money are going to be like, we have to do this again. We have to. So they're going to do something.
What, are you going to dig up Muhammad Ali? What are you going to do?
I've seen pictures of that.
They're researching necromancy right now.
Yeah, to resurrect Muhammad Ali so that, shit. Muhammad Ali's daughter criticizes Jake Paul's win over Mike Tyson. My father would have been mortified to see this. And it's sad because, the last thing Tyson said, one of those fights, remember, he's like, I don't have an enemy anymore. Right after he finished fighting, he gave up. He was like, I don't want to disrespect boxing anymore. And, honestly, this led to the ultimate disrespect of boxing.
Yeah.
But the positives, there was a good females boxing match.
It was great.
That paid homage and respect to boxing. So if Netflix wants to be like, wow, those two ladies that fought, that was really good, we're going to pay for that event. We'll do the third, meeting between those two girls, and I would watch that. And, hopefully it'll probably be a lot less popular, so the streaming won't be an issue.
Yeah.
But, yeah. All right, well, that's Jake Paul. I don't know what he's doing with his life, is now just fighting senior citizens and bragging about it
Giving
online.
kids diabetes.
That's your life now. Well, this is Jake Paul. Logan Paul that's the.
Oh, they
Logan
don't work.
Paul.
They don't work together.
The
Paul brothers.
I think maybe Jake has some. You would think Jake has some stock in that, right?
Yeah, I don't know.
The Lunchable thing. I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyways, so I just wanted to give our opinion here. What did you think of it, Alex?
Yeah, it was miserable. It was sad watching Grandpa get beat up, and then it was rigged and it was fixed in the way that we know how it should have ended.
Yeah.
Tyson came out, lost all of his gas after round one, and then Jake Paul should have beaten him into geriatric pulp and could have at any point.
Yeah.
And them sad dancing around 2 minutes at a time. The 2 minute round time
And
was
he's
also
biting his
awkward.
glove over and over. I think that is just a fixation
It's
because he's like, I'm going to bite your fucking ear off if I don't do this.
Yeah.
Which I would have. That would have been interesting.
Yeah, there could have been some, but I mean, Jake Paul wasn't going to do the thing. Like, at least you have the respect for boxing to knock the guy out.
Yeah, and he even during the round, the fucking round is still going, and he's like bowing to him.
Yeah.
That's when Tyson would have hit him. But no, there was definitely a script. I agree with you, where it's like if Tyson came out hard, it's like scripted and unscripted at the same time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So if Tyson would have came out hard, just like punching Jake and going all in, then Jake would have gone all in, right? Yeah. But once he saw, Tyson doing that, then he's like, okay, this is a business decision now, and I'm not going to go in on that. When in normal boxing, you go in and you finish it.
Look, I like exhibition matches. I used to like there's some of my favorite experiences at like the racetrack was watching like a fire truck race a Corvette, and the fire truck gets like a 15-second head start.
Yeah, that's fun.
It's uneven stuff, and that stuff can be absolutely fun. The problem I have with it is Jake Paul, Jake is this one's
Jake Paul.
Jake Paul, what I've seen has zero talent in boxing, and you know how I know because he's never fought an actual real life current boxer.
Yeah, and when he did, he lost.
And
Tommy Fury.
Yeah, so it's like go out and find Canelo, is that the guy that OJ loves?
Find a real boxer. Go
fight Canelo, and then I will respect you. And until then, you are.
I think Jake can take a punch, and I think he's better than I would have ever thought he was. And I'll give him that amount of credit. But please stop fighting senior citizens. It makes you look stupid.
Yeah, or fighting people who are like.
But he's like, who's stupid now, Joe? You'll never make even a pinky, a fucking dead cell on my skin. That's how much you wouldn't even make that compared to how much I make. And I'm like, oh, you're right.
Yeah, but it's the promoters doing all this stuff. They know what they've got. I mean, like Don King did the same thing with Tyson for years. So it's like that's what the whole thing is about. But.
Whew. Well, tell us what you thought of the fight down below and if it even fucking loaded for you, because basically what I had to do after a while, the event was over, and then I just watched it from there. Or you could rewind like 30 minutes and then just kind of rewatch it. But even then, it would still stop.
I bet you loved being able to do that where it's just you're watching this sad thing. It's like, can I fast forward through this? Because it was sad. It was truly sad. All right, Blizzard is working on an open world shooter, and we know this because they just put out a new job listing.
Okay.
And so Jason Schreier talked about this.
Yeah.
There was another guy from the Far Cry series who has been reported to be working on it. So it was Dan Hay, Far Cry 5
I love
director.
older Far Cries. Far Cry 5, all right.
Yeah.
Better than nothing.
But it looks like they are, if we know that there's going to be a StarCraft shooter and they're hiring for an open world shooter.
Oh, you think it's StarCraft? I think it's going to be completely original. It feels like they've just given up on the StarCraft shooter thing. Because having a big universe, I'm not sure. I guess, no, it can work. I don't want to say it can't work. But they've tried it multiple times with Ghost and then another one that got canceled after that. But Blizzard needs something. Blizzard needs some new IP. Show that you still have some fucking life left in your carcass and your soulless corporate heart. Show us something and poke him with the stick. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah, that's pretty harsh words from Little Joe about Blizzard, but unfortunately, I agree.
Yeah, I think it's got to be StarCraft, especially with Microsoft. Like, I just paid $67 million for your asses. You're gonna put out something that makes me money, okay?
Okay.
You haven't done anything with StarCraft in how many decades? Go make something. Go make Daddy some money.
Yeah.
So.
I think they quietly launched Warcraft 1 and 2, like remastered, not remasters, but just straight up reports.
Yeah, they did a patch for the horrible Warcraft 3. They did a patch to try to fix some of the issues with it. There's a bunch of smaller little announcements, but I mean, I have no goodwill towards that company.
Yeah.
We
just creative. There are so many fucking creative ideas they can do. If they want to go crazy, they could take Warcraft and go fucking pirates and fucking have human boats versus fucking orc pirates. That is so cool. That fucking just open world RPG or something, or like a Skull and Bones, only way better or something. But there's no creativity. There's only like, what will make us all of the money in the world?
$90 skins for World of Warcraft that sold out immediately. That'll make all the money.
Yeah,
that's it.
Yeah, fuck that company until show me. This is a show me league. We're in the NFL. Show me what you can do, Blizzard.
Sony has said they were talking to their investors, and you know what they said? This is really important, and I think this. This is why they make the big bucks. They said they should have gotten more feedback before launching Concord.
Sony's like, yeah, we regret burning $400 million, 200 to 400. We don't. I guess we'll never know the real number. They probably themselves burned 200 at least. So,
yeah,
they should probably have gotten more feedback.
More feedback.
You think? You think?
That's why they get paid.
What feedback would you have given them? Well, you didn't play. Have you played?
I didn't play.
Yeah, I played.
I watched the trailer, and just from the trailer, it looked like a giant piece of shit.
Yeah.
And so
why though?
Why? It looked like a photocopy of a photocopy. And when something is like, hey, we want our own character-based thing. I really like James Gunn's style. So let's kind of plagiarize that, and then we'll
Protector of the Stars.
Yeah, and then we'll zhuzh it up, and we'll do all these other things, and we'll get people excited about it.
Yeah.
But then they also went with like, we'll make all the characters kind of wacky, and it's like I don't really appreciate that character design.
MCU-ish.
And I'm sure the gunplay, everyone said the gunplay was decent, but no one actually told me that the gunplay was excellent. Right? It didn't do anything different, so it was more of the same combat-wise. It was uninspired story-wise, and in a world where all of those games are fucking free, you want to charge me $40?
Right.
I would have guaranteed day one a failure based on all that.
Yeah. And that is exactly how it played out. And the other feedback I would have given, hey, stop making these characters look like shit.
Oh, yeah.
Let's get some actual, I don't know. What happened to test audiences? They don't do tests anymore.
Toxic positivity.
Yeah, that's all. That's toxic, I guess, now. So some tests probably would have led them to include a few more characters that would appeal to the gamer base, or would appeal to the lowest common denominator, or rather, the PC way to say it, the maximum common denominator, the larger base, the larger player base. Yeah, I like a dude with 5 o'clock shadow with big muscles and badass rockets and guns and shit.
And a bunch of tattoos.
And a bunch of tattoos with some glasses and a fucking big old cigar. And he talks about big bodacious booyahs. Yeah, we need some of those. But no, I think the art style was dumb and it looked awful. And you're right, it stunk of Protector of the Universes. Mm-hmm. and if they would have left that out, I think if they would have showed purely the gameplay and it was a free to play. And then people discovered, wait a minute, this has a story. Wait a minute, there are high-quality cutscenes, and discover it through that rather than all front-loading it and doing nothing but cutscenes that are generic and we have Guardians of the Galaxy at home vibes where you buy it at Walmart or, your local grocery store version, then maybe it could have done better. But even then, even with all that, I don't think it was ever going to be this massive success and franchise that Sony was planning for.
Not at $40. Like, Helldivers was successful because there was nothing else on the market like it, and it made sense to pay $40 for it.
Yeah.
There are so many games exactly like this that are free.
It's almost like you should create a good game first and then build around it when it launches and it's wildly successful. Yeah. Instead of assuming and putting all target projections to be this huge new franchise which we can capitalize off and make billions of dollars and wildly successful before it even comes out.
Yeah. Didn't we get pooped on for saying the game didn't look very good the first time they did a State of Play? I think we did a State of Play video and people
said
mad.
It
looked bad. And everyone's like, you guys are dumb.
You guys are haters. Well, that was this... Whenever we comment on Sony, you got the Sony Pony Boys. And whenever we comment on Xbox, you got the Xbox.
I'm commenting on Sony now.
And whenever I comment on Nintendo, you got the, what do you call the Nintendo guys?
I can't use the words.
Okay. Oh, my gosh. Yeah, I'm looking forward to the response to that. Okay, So yes, Sony, you should have took more feedback. It's hilarious that it feels like there was, hey, we are open to diversity and having all different types of players and feedback and opinions, but yet it comes out and it results in this, and I don't, I think everybody understands why.
Mm-hmm. Microsoft's in the news this week. So they laid off a bunch of people, like 2,500 people.
That's wonderful. While also increasing the CEO's pay and making record profits. Yeah, I mean, we should just let corporations run wild. Let's deregulate everything. There's already little regulation. Let's deregulate the rest of it and just pour money into the top, because eventually it'll trickle down. On the rest of us.
Yeah, it's like a shower of gold.
It's been going so well.
It's a shower of gold that will rain down upon all of us from the people at the top. Do you like the idea?
I can't wait
of
for
a
that
really
golden
big
shower.
Golden shower.
So okay,
So after making all the record money and laying off all these people, you'd think that hey, maybe they're going to be tightening their belts a little bit. Nope. We are full acquisition mode still.
Okay.
Phil Spencer, talking with a bunch of people this week, has hinted that, look, their appetite for purchasing more companies is still pretty large.
Okay, well, good. I'd like to hear that. So more games. More games is always good. More good gaming.
Mobile games, though. Mobile games.
You son of a bitch.
It's a market.
I'm trying to give a little bit of credit, and Microsoft fucks it up by, we'll make investment in new companies, for sure. Mobile companies. Because that's where, what? All of the ridiculously dirty money for the lowest amount of effort and using the most manipulative tactics are happening. Once again, proving that these companies, you can't really trust them anymore to make really good games and creative and interesting games. They usually come from passionate people, indies, smaller companies, Helldivers 2, that kind of thing. And then when it blows up, they don't really know what to do with it, the bigger companies like Sony.
Yeah, and so that's what they're looking to do. They're looking to purchase some mobile games. They mentioned getting into the handheld market. And, they're a couple of years away from doing things like that. So they're still very much looking out to expand. So he actually said we're not going to grow the market with $1,000 consoles, talking about the next generation, because they're keep getting more and more expensive, and so
we'll see if since consoles are made in other countries and not here, we'll see if any tariffs make these consoles 2 to 3 times more expensive. I'm looking forward to that and seeing what people think of that, if that does in fact happen, as promised.
Yeah. We also got news that Avowed is going to have a $90 version. So a game that also, it's just included with Game Pass. But this game also will have a $90 version that will let you play the game 5 days early. So this is another one of those ones where I'm really starting to not like this. It's not even a trend. It's this is what everybody's doing.
Well, isn't there 5-day early access if you spend $90, but it's also on Game Pass.
It's also on Game Pass.
You're asking people to spend $90 that they wouldn't otherwise spend.
But you get a digital
don't say that about those people, little Joe. That's very mean. Those people they don't know what they don't know how to save money, or they like burning money. It's very wasteful, basically, is what he said. If you're buying a $90 edition when the game is literally, you just wait 5 days, you be patient, and you don't have to spend $90.
Yeah, I think what the medical term is rectal cranial inversion.
Yes. So he said that, just not quite so nice.
Yeah.
But no, going back to your last story, because you mentioned handheld, and that is cool. So we want to give credit where credit's due. So I looked into it as well, and you're right, a lot of mobile stuff. The mobile storefront kind of beefing that up, but then they're looking at. But what does that mean? Looking at? We're looking at handheld and working on hardware prototypes on that front. So that's slightly exciting. We're talking about a Xbox, mobile, like a handheld that is not a mobile phone, that is clearly. Do you think that's just gone the way of the dodo, and that they'll never? I mean, what is out there right now? Because phones are so powerful now that they pretty much do all that. Do you think that could survive in a market?
I think
today's market.
Just a total handheld?
Yeah. If we could call it the X
Dick.
What?
It's like Steam Deck, but
the X Deck. Okay,
yeah.
I like that. X Deck. I was go ahead.
But so it's like the Steam Deck is
mobile.
It's a wonderful piece of hardware. It works amazing. And so if there's 2 ways you can go.
You're thinking like ultra powerful fucking handheld computer, because them Steam Decks are big.
They're big. It's
nice big screen.
Yeah, but imagine that connected with Game Pass, right? And the Game Pass games aren't. I mean, now we're getting Call of Duty, but a lot of games on Game Pass are older games. And if I could have something that at all times
Game Pass on the go,
they could stream all those things. They could. I mean, that seems like a good place in the market. Or they could go like a Switch, and the Switch is a garbage piece of hardware, right? It's not powerful. It can barely run the games that came out on it 2 years ago. I remember we tried. We tried playing Mortal Kombat on it, and that shit did not work. No. And so it's like they could go simpler and do like more simple games. But
I think it would be an utter failure.
You think so?
If they try an handheld. An Xbox handheld would be an utter failure unless, like you say, they're tying it to their library of Game Pass. Or it's that streamable shit where, you know, all you have to have is a powerful connection. The unit itself is not this big badass mobile computer. It's more, you know, streaming over a high internet connection where you could play badass games.
My phone is a more powerful processing unit than my TV, and my TV can, on my Wi-Fi, stream every game on Game Pass. Right. It's like black magic. It's crazy
I know
how it works.
Like Alex is the one of all three of us that has dipped your toe into like playing shit directly from the TV without a console, and it's impressed you.
Yeah, it's nothing on TV. Grab the controller. It's like, oh shit, I'm gonna play Fable, and it's like within 2 seconds, I'm in Fable 1, and I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot I'm bored in this game.
So something like that, mobile, could maybe, but I still think it would probably end up being a failure. I mean, the Xbox division themselves are not really making a profit, so. And I appreciate that it's that they allow it to be a loss leader because we need competition in this market. So, all right, sorry for going back, but I found it fascinating. The X-Deck.
The X-Deck.
We're saying deck, not dick.
Yeah.
The X-Deck.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of anything else they could do, but yeah, I don't know.
X-Mobile.
Yeah, I mean, I think that the other thing they can do is Game Pass Mobile Edition is going to be is really probably high on their list of things where you can just. I mean, I played some mobile. I was just did some traveling and I played some mobile games. And what is the name of this game that I fucking love? Balatro.
Never heard of it.
It's an offline. It's like a poker-based deck building game, kind of. And it's super fucking fun.
Cool.
Had a ton. I mean, and people are talking about like game of the year type stuff for it. So it's like there's some really talented people.
That came out this year.
This year, yeah.
Okay. I'll look it up.
So it's like there's some really cool stuff out there. But yeah, if you want to play Avowed 5 days early, give them $90 for something that costs $0.
And other digital bullshit.
You get a digital art book, which is useless. It is fucking useless. It's like an NFT because you know what I can do? The second you pay $90 to download your digital art book, I'm just gonna go right click. Save as, motherfucker.
I've never used a digital art book. Physical art books, you can flip through those. Yeah. Those are fine.
But yeah, no, it's a digital art book. You get nothing. You get absolutely nothing.
Nothing.
Phil Spencer also said that Avowed did not need more time. The reason that it got delayed was because of,
it's purely like, we want to get it away from everything else. Yeah. The super busy season. That to me is telling me you don't have a lot of confidence. Mm-hmm. Now, it's not necessarily a bad thing because if I'm making that business decision, I would do it too. I don't want companies to be like, well, fuck, I'm locked into this and I'm gonna get overrun. I think it's even War Cradle, a War Horse that is scared with Kingdom Deliverance 2 coming out in a really fucking busy time as well. And I guess because you have these huge corporations and you plan things like you're kind of locked in. Yeah. But I don't mind, things moving out so that it would be consumed a little better. And I've always wanted companies to be a little bit more strategic in that for games that I care about and want to do well. And I just don't think Avowed has the name recognition, the company recognition. That should have the company recognition, but I don't even think then. So they really need a time where they can eat up all of the press.
The game needs a lot of help. It doesn't look super visually impressive, and their marketing has been poor.
Yeah.
So
hopefully the RPG elements we can praise, and then word of mouth will spread that way, and maybe it'll take off like that.
I mean, the thing is like he says this, and he's like, oh, we wanted to move it away from all these other games, and then I look at the month that they're in, I'm like, you guys are stupid.
Yeah.
It's like you're out of the whatever. Whatever. All right. You had a couple things that you wanted to
Yeah,
bring up?
so Alex and me, and eventually Joe, when he comes back, we'll be reviewing Arcane. I think me and Alex will do it without Joe for the first few episodes, and then when Joe comes back, we'll give you the finale. It's like they're breaking it up into 3 acts, so it's not fully out yet. Yeah. But I kind of was like, oh shit, why just two seasons? Well, we've already covered the fact that it was $250 million, but there's lots of other stories to tell, says Riot's co-founder. So that gives me hope that the reason why is like, okay, we're done with these people, and we want to do some other stories.
Yeah.
It's not canceled. That's what they're saying, and there was a joke floating around. It was gonna run for 5 whole seasons. That I don't think was ever a thing. But per an interview with Animation Magazine, featuring the co-showrunner Christian and co-series director Pascal, the later of whom says they laid it out clearly. We spent 9 years at this point on these 11 or so characters. So there's also something about wanting to make sure that we're able to tell those stories of other characters that we're also really passionate about. So that's good. This is first confirmation. I was a little worried. It's like, okay, $250 million. They're tired of the League of Legends. They don't want to do it anymore. They're going to do something completely different. But if you're talking about there's other characters we want to tell stories of, I'm hoping it could still all be in the League of Legends universe because the animation style, the lore, it is all so good. I would love to see what are some champions that you would love to see? Cho'Gath or Darius
They did a video called Warriors a couple years ago that I still think was the test case for this. It actually shows Vi and Caitlyn like doing a police investigation, but that same one also has Garen and Lux, so it's like this kingdom that has no magic whatsoever, and then some mages break, and there's like evil mages and the clash between them.
That would be
and like
really
there's some
cool.
really cool stuff there. So it's like it is a really interesting world. There's a lot of interesting characters to do stuff with.
Yeah, so they said there's people who were single when they started on Arcane. Now they're married and they have kids in school. That's a heck of a long time to be working on any one project. So I'm not at all shocked that the studio behind the series wants a change, even if it was a golden opportunity, as Link puts it, saying that we are also just really lucky that we were able to have a higher budget for an animated series because we were an IP by Riot. We were able to really put out art first. So there's no guarantees it'll still be, Arcane or League of Legends, especially with that particular studio. But
Fortiche.
We're gonna have to see. Let's see. There's only ran for 2 seasons because there's lots of other stories to tell. They didn't want to give the game away in the interview. They said, there are things that I certainly have on my bucket list. People will walk to places with this and that, and I won't be able to control. But someday, he started laughing. Someday I want us to make a musical. He thinks he was joking on that. As for the mark he hopes to leave in the industry, hopefully other studios and IPs will see, hey, bigger budget animation, animated series, and expressive animation can be really, really amazing.
It can be amazing, but as it costs, does it return on its investment? Because $250
That's
million
what companies are going to want. And he's encouraging bigger budgets so that, they can do what they want to do, which is exactly what they've done here in Arcane. We'll give you our review soon. But you're right. The companies ultimately want to see the bottom line. And I don't think the bottom line for Arcane Season 1 or Season 2 is probably returning. It's more just, hey, we're bringing in subscriptions for Netflix while you're probably losing a few after the Jake Paul Logan stuff. And we're bringing in critically acclaimed stuff that is going to be there and high quality that will get watched at a lower rate more consistently over time is what I'm thinking.
You just got to hope that technology keeps getting better and better and better so that it can become cheaper and cheaper and cheaper to do these things, because I think we're kind of in our heyday now, and then there's going to be a lot of people like, hey, we can't do this because it doesn't make any money.
Yeah, and speaking of, hey, we can't do this because it's probably not going to make money, Sophia Turner has been circling the Lara Croft project. Potentially, our Game of Thrones Sansa may
smartest person I know.
The smartest person you know, and the best actress in the world could potentially be a Lara Croft. What do you think?
No.
No?
No.
No, I don't think so either. I'm sure there's plenty of other actresses, but she's, I don't know, famous. Dated Joe Jonah, or no, they not dated, married, but then divorced Joe Jonas, and she's in all those circles with, famous people.
Yeah, this is Phoebe Waller-Cates, the whole production, right? Because she's the one in charge of all this.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Well, I don't know, but I do know that Turner, Sophie has previously mentioned, being a fan of that.
Yeah, me too. They're not casting me.
Yeah. Okay. But it says Turner might end up back in the role of Lara Croft, which was previously portrayed by the likes of Angelina Jolie and Alicia Vikander. But basically, the series is scheduled to be produced by Series. Yeah. Okay. It's going to be a TV series. Crystal Dynamics and MGM Amazon Studios, which they know exactly how to spend their money and choose their actors, as we've seen with the other thing that I was going to talk about. We'll talk about that film, Red One, in our second news story. So why don't we get there now, actually? So that's going to be it. That's jam-packed first episode of news for you.
Click those links down below. It's up to 50% off right now. It's the best deal. Christmas is coming up. This is time to take care of. If you got your uncle in Secret Santa that you're like, I don't know anything about the dude. He uses a wallet.
Yes, exactly. And gadgets. Men love gadgets. Women love gadgets too. So check it out, guys. Links down below. Thank you so much, and we will see you in episode 2 of 2 for the news. Bye, guys.